Quantum shifting is a widely misinterpreted subject, and I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that quantum has become this buzzword that gives everything a more mysterious feel, when quantum mechanics really just deals with everything in the observable universe at the most microscopic level. So I want to start this video off by saying that quantum shifting isn't some kind of fantastical phenomena. This is very real and practical, and it's happening every day, right under your nose. You may not even be aware of it. Some of those shifts are big, some of them are small, but ultimately, every single choice that you're making is altering your life path in some way. Even your choice to watch this video is taking you in a vastly different direction than if you were to do something else instead. So I'm happy to be here on this journey with you, and I'm happy to act as a catalyst for those who may need it. But quantum shifting is essentially the process of capitalizing on the law of action and consequence. And you can do this in a number of ways. We'll get to that eventually. You're essentially just programming the law of action and consequence to work for you. If you watch my video on the holographic reality, you'll know that we exist in a matrix of visible light that reflects off of matter. Time, space, and physical sense are all merely constructs of the information processing activity of consciousness. So your reality is simply a series of particles that are interacting with and being translated by your nervous system into your sensory experience that you have every single day. So yes, your thoughts are always interacting with the very fabric of reality itself. And that's why it's said, where attention goes, energy flows. Matter is aware that it's being observed, and it will reorient itself to match what the observer is expecting of it. So you're calling the shots. You are setting the tone for what your reality reflects back to you. Everything is just a mirror. Your reality continually generates itself on the foundation of your core beliefs, your assumptions, your expectations, and the things that you give your attention to. It's like an ultra complex For You page. And if anything, the For You page algorithmic structure of social media is merely a reflection of a very real and organic process that's happening in your life. You exist in infinite possibilities simultaneously. And this is called superposition within quantum mechanics. An easy observation of this principle is flipping a coin, being both heads and tails until an outcome is observed. Another well-known example is Schrodinger's cat. I'm not going to explain it in this video. You can go look that up on your own. It's very well known. It's a very well-known thought experiment. Your body is the machine that navigates space and time. We always talk about time machines and making time machines. We don't need to make any time machines. You are the machine that is navigating time, okay? And this is essentially the entire premise of Merkaba light body activation. Like when you hear people talking about building out their Merkaba, this is what they're talking about. You're building out an interdimensional machine that is literally your physical vessel. And no, I'm not trying to suggest that you're robotic or mechanistic or try to limit or dumb down the vast and intricate processes of the human form. I'm just saying that your body has spiritual processes that could be compared to what we currently understand as an interdimensional time machine. And no, I'm not making this shit up. I am being so dead serious right now. There are infinite versions of you doing everything you could possibly imagine. And your imagination is actually the connection to these timelines. We exist on a moment-to-moment basis in the ever-present. Take an old film strip, for example. When you have a series of pictures and you flip through them quick enough, there's a movement to them that appears seamless. Our life is very similar. You have these moment-to-moment picture-like experiences that are happening so quickly. There's a flow to the unfolding of circumstances in your life. Our timelines are like infinite film strips that run parallel to one another. And hell, sometimes they converge, they diverge, they bleed into one another. Time is not linear. Linear time is the biggest lie that humanity has ever been sold. So the following exercise is going to allow you to step outside of linear time so that you can alter your life path for the better. In order to successfully shift, you must first assume the version of you that already exists in your desired reality. And there's a lot of ways you can do this. The first of which is to create the sensory stimuli in your mind related to your desired reality. Things like visualization, sights, sounds, smells, physical sensations, bringing it into your mind in as much detail as possible. And some people have a really hard time doing this, so let's try something really quick. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, close your eyes and just relax for a second. Think about a memory that's really fond to you. First thing that comes to your mind, try not to take too much time thinking about it. Do your best to recreate that memory in as much detail as possible. When we think about our memories, it's really easy for us to tune into the details of what happened because we've already physically witnessed it. Put yourself there. Root into the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feeling of the air on your skin. Was it hot? Was it cold? What do your clothes feel like? What are you feeling emotionally in this moment? Think about that for a second. Bring it to mind in as much detail as possible. Really root yourself into that memory. Now come back, take a deep breath in and out if you'd like to reground into your body. But for a moment there, you step back in time. When you brought that memory to mind, you were in that moment temporarily. In another reality, you were living vicariously through your imagination that previous moment. Another method of shifting realities is through verbalizing your intention, affirming the reality that you want to align to. I am already the version of myself that has my dream job. I am already the version of myself that is in my perfect relationship. These are super general. Specify them to your heart's content. You really want to get into a habit of repetition with these things because if you're in the process of aligning to a new reality and you don't have the beliefs to secure you in that timeline, you're going to steadily shift back to your old habits, your old behaviors, and your old reality, which is going to reflect in your experience as getting your manifestation and losing it, or people's behavior being very wishy-washy or weird. It's not going to manifest in the way that you're intending. So you really have to commit to this new version of you, whether you do that through affirmations or through visualization or through the next tip that I'm about to mention. It's really important that you just utilize repetition and you create a habit of normalizing the new version of you. The last method I'll mention is ritualizing or using external tools. An example of this would be lighting a candle with the intention to shift, or creating a ritual circle and stepping into it with the intention to shift. I used to use a designated scrying mirror for shifting realities. A common one I've seen on the internet is the water glass technique, where you take 2 glasses and fill one with water, leave the other empty. On the glass with water, you would write down the qualities of your current reality that you would like to change, and then on the empty glass, you would write down the qualities that you want to bring about. So an example would be if you're single and you're wanting to be in a relationship, you could write down single on the first glass with the water and in a relationship on the second glass that's empty. Then you would take those 2 glasses and you would pour the water into the empty glass, which symbolizes your transfer into a new reality where you're in a relationship, and then you would drink the water. The idea is that water stores memory and it also stores intention. So if you program a glass of water with an intention and then drink it, you could shift that way. But these things can be tricky because a lot of people end up giving all their power to the external tool when the power is literally coming from them. So you have to understand that it's literally you initiating the shift. Your salt circles, your candles, your crystals are all just submitting to your energy. However, if you do these things with the belief that they work, then your subconscious receives that and accepts it. And it basically makes choices as if that worked. So it's a way to trick your brain. Like if you're somebody who struggles with affirmations and you're not seeing results with visualization, you may want to try incorporating external tools to feel like you're doing something. Your subconscious registers that action as something that did work, and then it will go forth and make unconscious choices that will domino affect you into your desired reality. So let's talk about physical symptoms while shifting, because this is something that I get asked about a lot as a subliminal creator. A lot of people experience physical symptoms after listening to subliminals and after shifting. And this is very common. It's common to experience things like headaches, migraines, nausea, vertigo, flu-like symptoms even, insomnia, tinnitus, deja vu. All of these things are super common, especially after a big shift. you're quite literally reconfiguring at the most microscopic level. So be gentle with yourself. Stay hydrated, get your body the nourishment it needs, get lots of rest. Usually physical symptoms are a sign of success, but sometimes it's simply the body calling for you to give it a break, take a step back from trying to manifest, from trying to shift, and just ride the wave and allow the domino effect to ensue. Circumstances will arise, you will feel called to take certain opportunities. Take them with the knowing that they are the result of your shift. Another common thing that happens during large shifts is our lives seemingly fall apart. And this is to make space for the new things that are to come. This doesn't always happen, but if you're new to manifestation or if you're new to spiritual activation overall, you may find that the job you're working is no longer resonant, or the people that you're associating with, the conversations that they're having, the habits that they're engaging in are just not really for you anymore. And you're finding yourself feeling super uncomfortable and boxed in, like the world is just squeezing in on you. This is a result of your dissolution. You're making space for a new reality that is ultimately going to be more fulfilling for you. And not everything can come with you. Not everyone can come with you. This can also be the case if you unexpectedly lose a job or if you have a falling out with someone. Usually it's a sign of dissolution of that timeline, and you're being rerouted to something that, once again, is more resonant and will bring much greater fulfillment. This actually happened to me many years ago when I first started my YouTube channel, or around the time that I started my YouTube channel. I was going to school and I was bartending, and I was miserable. It was not the path that I wanted for myself. I really wanted to start making content, and I had been feeling called to do so for quite some time, but I ignored it. And you know, at one point when I was bartending, I was easily able to tune out all of the negativity, you know, the drunk assholes, the people that I was working with, the cattiness, all of that stuff. Like, I was able to tune it out and ignore it and try to avoid it as best as possible while still making my money. But it got increasingly uncomfortable. Like, I started to notice it more, and it started to affect me more, and it started to weigh on me more. And eventually I just decided to not work there anymore. I just said, you know what, I'm gonna just go ahead and leave this behind. I was making pretty damn good money. And I just figured I'd take a risk, leave it all behind, and start creating content full time. And that was back in 2019 when I started my YouTube channel. Many of you have been subscribed to me since then. I appreciate every single one of you. But now I'm here, you know, empowering people, connecting with people from all over the world. I couldn't have asked for a better experience for myself. Like, this is perfect for me. The life that I'm living right now, the life path that I'm on right now is so resonant. It's so perfect for me. And it brings me joy and fulfillment all the time. And it's kind of like my silver lining with all of the shit that goes on in the world, right? It's like, this is my little pocket of happiness and fulfillment, is connecting with you guys and creating these videos and having this channel. So you will have your moment, whether it's initiated by life or whether it's initiated by you. There will be a dissolution for some people. Like I said, this doesn't always happen, but if you are living so polar opposite from who you're wanting to be, then it's going to require you to make sacrifices. So you can either make those sacrifices yourself, or those sacrifices will be initiated by life. Your choice. But if you remain in a state of attachment to the old after initiating a shift, it's going to be a painful process. Okay? Shifting can be graceful, it can be full of flow, it can be full of life, it can be full of intrigue, full of excitement, or it can be full of pain and full of suffering and full of anxiety and full of stress. Your shifting experience will be what you make it. You also have to maintain accountability after you fully align with the new version of you. You have to continue to assume that self. All right, you have to continue to show up every day as that version. This is not a part-time job. This isn't something that you get to do every now and again. This is a commitment. You have to commit to yourself. Even if that means continuing to affirm after you have the relationship, or after you have the desire, after you have the job, continuing to visualize, continuing to normalize the experience of that desired reality. Because there's a lot of people who, they get to that reality, but they fall back into the old thinking, they fall back into the old patterns, and then they fall back into the old reality and they lose everything that they got. It happens a lot. This happens with people with money. You know, people who win the lottery and then end up blowing it all and they're broke again within like 2 years. So as an example, if you want to assume a version of you that's wealthy, a version of you that doesn't worry about money, then you need to start committing to being the version of you that doesn't worry about money. It's a discipline. The same way that if you want to align to the version of you that has a healthy relationship, then you have to drop the old toxic behaviors that are continuing to attract toxic people. That means resisting the urge to snoop through someone's phone or stalk their social media, because you know you don't attract people like that. You don't give in to those urges, you don't give in to those anxieties, because it's not even possible for you to attract somebody who's like that. And if there is sneaky shit, it will arise. You have to trust that it will arise, you will find out, and you will respect yourself enough to walk away. This isn't delusion or naivety, it's just knowing your worth and commanding the energy. People do it all the time. Think about the corporate asshole archetype, the one that gets whatever he wants, he's full of himself, and everybody loves him. Okay, and I know some of you work with people like this. You can't hate them though. You cannot waste time or energy hating these people. You can only take that same confidence and that same self-assurance, apply it to yourself, and be better. Okay, assume form and commit to it. That is all it takes to shift realities. You assume form and commit to it. That's it. It's that simple. Okay, and sometimes you have to do it over and over and over again until your mind gets it, but assume form and commit to it. That is the gist of this video. There is so much more we could speak on related to this subject, like the fact that there are countless movies and TV shows that showcase the multidimensional nature of reality. I mean, hell, Black Mirror Bandersnatch puts quantum jumping front and center for you. So if you want an example of that in TV, go and watch Black Mirror Bandersnatch. That is exactly what that episode is alluding to. It's talking about quantum jumping. Everything Everywhere All at Once is another one that references quantum jumping. You know, everybody knows about Marvel's multiverse. I mean, that's probably the biggest one. But there's a lot of references in media that talk about this phenomenon. And it's because Hollywood is showcasing esoteric truths as fiction. Okay, it registers and impresses deeper on the mind as such. This is not science fiction. This is real life, and reality is much stranger than fiction. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I am so endlessly appreciative for every single one of you. If you'd like to support the channel through purchasing a coaching session or a subliminal tape from me, check out my website, madamdevoe.com. But other than that, I'll see you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.